Hello everyone and welcome back to PlainTalk English. I'm your host, Daniel. Today we're diving deep into what might just be the single most powerful verb in the entire English language.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. And yes, Daniel is right. The verb we're discussing today might look small, simple, and unassuming, but its power is absolutely incredible.
That verb, as you saw in the title, is get. It's a word you hear everywhere, from movies to daily conversation.
That's so true. I remember when I was first learning other languages, I was always looking for a word that worked like get, but there isn't one. It's uniquely flexible and powerful in English.
Exactly, and understanding this one verb will be a complete game changer for your fluency. It's the key to unlocking a more natural, native-sounding way of speaking.
If you understand how to use get, your English will immediately sound more natural, more fluent, and more like a native speaker. You'll go from sounding like a textbook to sounding like a real person.
So relax, listen carefully, and get ready to master the most useful verb ever.
So, what gives get its superpowers? The verb get is extremely common in everyday English. Native speakers use it constantly, often without even thinking about it.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of verbs. It has so many different functions packed into one small word. The interesting thing about get is that it has many, many meanings. It can mean receive, become, arrive, buy, understand, obtain, fetch, catch an illness, prepare, and much, much more.
It's incredible, isn't it? Instead of learning 50 different, more formal verbs, sometimes native speakers just use the simple word get. This is especially true in conversation.
For example, a politician giving a speech might say, "We will procure the necessary resources." But in a normal conversation, you would say, "I need to get some supplies."
It's a shortcut that makes language faster and more efficient. Mastering get is mastering this shortcut. Let's break down its most common uses one by one.
Let's start with one of the most common meanings, one that you can use every single day. Get can mean receive.
This is probably the first meaning of get that most learners encounter. It's simple and direct.
Exactly. Let's look at some examples. I got your message. She got a gift for her birthday. Did you get my email? He gets a lot of junk mail every day.
In all these sentences, got or gets simply means received. For instance, instead of saying the more formal sentence, I received your message.
Native speakers, especially in conversation, will almost always say, I got your message.
It's much more natural. Think about a birthday. It sounds a bit strange to say, what did you receive for your birthday?
Right. Everyone would ask, what did you get for your birthday? Let's imagine a quick chat. I could text you, did you receive the file I sent? How would you reply?
I'd probably text back, got it, thanks, or yes, I got it. I would never write file received. That sounds like a computer.
Perfect example. It also works for future plans. I might say, I hope I get a promotion this year, which means I hope I receive a promotion.
Or she's hoping to get a letter from the university soon. It's all about receiving something. So your first mission is to start replacing receive with get in your daily conversations. Okay, this is where get becomes really, really powerful and versatile. Get can mean become. It describes a change of state.
This is a huge one. We use it to talk about changes in emotions, weather, physical condition, everything. Let's start with some simple examples. It's getting cold. It is becoming cold. She got angry. She became angry. I'm getting tired. I am becoming tired. He got sick. He became sick.
In all these sentences, got or gets simply means received. For instance, instead of saying the more formal sentence, it is becoming cold.
Exactly. Instead of the more dramatic and formal sentence, she became angry,
we usually just say she got angry.
This is extremely common in spoken English. Think about your daily routine. In the morning, you get hungry for breakfast. When you work out, your muscles get sore.
If you sit in the sun, your skin might get tan. If you don't use sunscreen, it might get burnt. Let's list a few more common examples of this structure.
The food is getting cold. Let's eat. My parents are getting old. The sky is getting dark. It looks like it's going to rain. I studied so hard, my grades got better.
It also works for emotions. You can get excited before a vacation, get nervous before a presentation, or get sad watching a movie.
What happens when you don't sleep enough, Anna?
I definitely get grumpy, and I'm sure it's getting late, so we should move on to the next point.
See, she just used it. It's getting late. It's becoming late. This is a pattern you will hear and use constantly. Another very common and practical meaning is this one. Get can mean arrive.
This is a must-know for talking about travel, daily commutes, or just meeting up with friends. It's all about reaching a destination.
Let's look at the key examples. What time did you get home? I got to the office at 9 a.m. When did they get here? Call me when you get to the station.
Now, notice something very important in those examples. There's a crucial grammar point here that trips up many learners.
That's right. We say get home. There is no preposition like to.
But we say get to the office, get to school, get to work, get to the airport.
This is a very important grammar point. The word home is special in English grammar and doesn't require to after verbs of motion like go, come, or get.
So if I ask you, what time did you arrive at your house last night? How would you rephrase that naturally?
I would say, what time did you get home last night? Much shorter and more natural.
What if you were late for a meeting?
I might say, sorry I'm late. There was so much traffic I didn't get here until 10. Here and there also don't need a to.
So the pattern is get plus to plus a place, but for home, here, and there, you drop the to.
Correct. It's a small rule, but it makes a big difference in how natural you sound. Practice it. I got to work, but I got home.
Let's move on to another very practical use. Sometimes get means buy or obtain. We use this all the time when talking about shopping or acquiring things.
This is a very relaxed, conversational way to talk about buying something. Let's see it in action. I need to get some milk from the store. She got a new car. Where did you get that jacket? He got tickets to the concert.
In all of these, you could substitute buy or obtain, but get sounds more casual and common. For example, instead of asking, where did you buy that jacket?
Most native speakers would usually ask, where did you get that jacket?
It's a bit more open-ended. Maybe you didn't buy it, maybe it was a gift. Get covers all possibilities. Buy is more specific.
That's a great point. If I say, I got a new phone, it usually implies I bought it. But if a friend asks, how did you get it? I might answer, it was a birthday gift.
Let's do a quick role play. I'm at your house and I see a nice painting. I would say, wow, I love that painting. Where did you get it?
And I would reply, thanks. I got it at a small art market while I was on vacation. I wouldn't say I purchased it. That's too formal for a friendly chat.
Exactly. You can also use it for tasks. Can you get me a glass of water, please? Means, can you fetch or obtain a glass of water for me?
So next time you're talking about shopping or something new you have, try using get. It's a simple switch that makes a big impact. Now, here's a very interesting and informal one. Get can mean understand.
This is extremely common in daily spoken English. It's the kind of slang that isn't really slang anymore. It's just part of the language.
If your friend is explaining a complicated math problem or the plot of a confusing movie, you might say, I don't get it. Do you get what I mean? Wait, oh, now I get it. He just doesn't get the joke.
This is the perfect natural substitute for I don't understand. For example, instead of saying in a flat robotic way, I do not understand.
We almost always say, I don't get it.
It's friendlier and it invites the other person to explain again in a different way. If I'm explaining a new board game to you and you look confused, what would you say?
I'd probably say, hold on, I don't get the part about scoring. Can you explain it again?
And when you finally understand, you'd say,
Ah, okay, I get it now. That makes sense.
perfect. It maps perfectly to the process of understanding. You don't get it, then suddenly you get it.
It shows a moment of realization. So if you're ever in a class or a meeting and you're confused, I don't get it is the perfect phrase to use.
We touched on this in the become section, but the pattern of get plus adjective is so important it deserves its own section. This pattern is literally everywhere in English.
It's a powerful structure for indicating a transition into a new state. Let's list some very common examples. Think of them as getting yourself ready for something. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Get dressed. Put on clothes. Get undressed. Take off clothes. Get lost. Become unable to find your way. Get busy. Start working on something.
And some more that describe life events or changes in condition. Get married, get divorced, get engaged, get better when you are sick, get worse when your condition deteriorates, get old.
Let's use these in full sentences. For example, hurry up, we need to get ready for the party. I need to get dressed. I can't go to work in my pajamas. He got married last year in a beautiful ceremony. My phone signal got lost when we went into the tunnel.
This structure is incredibly powerful and efficient. You can combine get with hundreds of adjectives to describe almost any change you can think of.
Let's think of a few more. What happens to your hands when you wash dishes without gloves?
They get wet, and if I work in the garden all day, my hands get dirty.
And after a long day of work, you get tired, and when the weekend comes, you get excited.
See? The pattern is endless. Get plus adjective. Start looking for it and you'll see it everywhere.
All right, now we enter advanced territory. But don't worry, we'll make it simple. This is about phrasal verbs with get. This is where get combines with a small word, a preposition, to create a whole new meaning.
These are extremely common, especially in spoken English. Learning them will boost your fluency enormously. Let's go through the most essential ones.
First up, get up. This usually means to get out of bed in the morning. I get up at 7 a.m. every day.
Next, get over. This means to recover from something like an illness or a disappointment. She finally got over her cold. It took him a long time to get over the breakup.
How about get back? This means to return. When did you get back from your trip?
A very useful one, get along with someone. This means to have a good relationship. I really get along well with my new colleagues. Do you get along with your brother?
Then you have pairs like get in and get out. Get in means to enter and get out means to exit. Get in the car, we're going to be late. The dog got out of the yard.
We could do a whole video just on phrasal verbs with get. There's also get away, escape, get by, survive with just enough money, and get on with. The key is to learn them as a complete chunk. Don't think get and up. Think of get up as one verb.
Let's review the examples. I get up at 7 a.m. She got over her cold. When did you get back? Get out of the car. We get along very well.
Start with these 5. They are the most common and will be incredibly useful in your daily conversations. Here's a slightly more advanced but very interesting point that will make your English sound incredibly natural. Sometimes get is used instead of be in passive sentences.
This is a great tip. The normal passive voice uses the verb to be. For example, the window was broken. But in many cases, especially in conversation, we use get.
It often emphasizes the action happening to the subject, and it can feel more dynamic. Let's look at some classic examples. He got promoted instead of he was promoted. She got fired instead of she was fired. They got married instead of they were married. My car got stolen instead of my car was stolen.
Let's compare them directly. The sentence, he was promoted, this is grammatically perfect. It is a statement of fact.
But we often say he got promoted. This sounds a little more personal, more like you're telling a story. It focuses on the event happening to him.
Same with a negative event. The package was damaged is a neutral observation, but my package got damaged expresses more frustration. It happened to me and my package.
Here are a few more. He got hired for the new job. She got chosen for the team. I got invited to the party. They got caught in the rain.
This is called the get passive.
You don't need to use it all the time, but if you start noticing it and using it for common expressions like get married, get fired, or get hurt, your English will take another step towards sounding more native.
Okay, that was a lot of information. Now let's practice. We're going to say a sentence, and you want to repeat it out loud in the pause. This will help your mouth muscles get used to these phrases. Ready?
Let's do it. Repeat after Daniel.
I got your message. It's getting late. What time did you get home? I don't get it. We need to get ready. She got a new job. He got promoted last week. Let's get going.
Great job. Practice is key. Repeating these phrases helps build your muscle memory and confidence. Now, let's talk about a few common mistakes that learners make with get. These are easy to fix.
The first one we already mentioned. Wrong. I got to home. Correct. I got home. Remember, home is special.
Here's another one related to understanding. Wrong. I get understand. This is mixing two verbs. Correct. I understand, or I get it. Choose one or the other. I get it is the natural conversational choice.
Also, let's not forget the different forms of the verb. It's an irregular verb. The past tense of get is got. Yesterday, I got a package.
The past participle is where it gets a little tricky depending on where you are. In American English, the past participle is gotten.
Example in American English, I have gotten better at playing the guitar. She has gotten 3 emails about it already.
In British English, the past participle is often just got. I have got better. However, gotten is understood everywhere, and the use of got as a participle is becoming less common even in the UK for the meaning of become or receive. The key is to be aware of the difference.
So don't mix them up. I gotten is never correct. It must be I have gotten.
Wow, we've covered so much. If you master get, your English will become so much more natural and flexible. It's one of the best investments you can make in your fluency.
Our advice is to start noticing it. Start listening for how often native speakers use this verb. When you watch a movie or a TV show in English, count how many times you hear get. It's everywhere.
Don't be afraid to use it. Try to use get instead of receive, become, or buy in your next English conversation. Start small. Try, I get it, or it's getting late.
Exactly. Set yourself a small challenge. Today, I will use get 3 times in a new way. Get ready. Get confident. Get fluent.
We hope you now understand the true power of get in English and feel more confident about using it.
If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to PlainTalk English for more practical English lessons just like this one.
Keep practicing every day. The more you use it, the more natural it will become.
See you in the next episode. Goodbye.